Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Rich in Facts podcast. Today, I have a very special guest. He is a native of Cambridge, Massachusetts. He is a professional basketball player. Ladies and gentlemen, on episode 8 of this podcast, I introduce you to Jacquil Taylor. Jacquil Taylor, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. How's everything with you?
Doing well, man. I just remember the first time that I really remember seeing you. I forget if it was like area 4 in middle school or in high school, but since I've known you've been like what, 6'7", 6'8", talk to me like there are some people that sort of they start off, whatever medium height and then they get a growth spurt. Like were you always were you tall coming out the womb, or did you kind of get that growth spurt, I don't know, like 4th or 5th grade or something like that? Like,
You see, it was crazy that, I obviously wasn't a normal height child. That's just blatantly obvious. But we all start out small, so there's that. But I would say my growth spurt was in 6th grade.
Okay.
Because it just like happened out of nowhere. So I think in 5th grade I was 5'8", and then just out of nowhere in 6th grade I shot to like 6'2". I don't know if it might have been overnight, it might have been over a couple of days, but it just seemed like the next day I was just taller.
That's crazy.
So I'm just like, and then I'm looking at my clothes don't fit, and then I'm looking at I'm looking at my socks, my shoes. I'm just like, none of my clothes. So I'm smacking my head off doors and whatnot. I'm just like, yo, what the heck is going on here?
Now, how difficult?
It was tough, man. It was tough.
Yeah, and I'm like, how difficult is it to buy clothes at your height? Like, do they even have your shoe size at like when you go to like a Foot Locker? Like, how does that work?
I'm gonna tell you this: buying shoes was almost damn near impossible.
I bet.
You know how hard it is to see all your siblings being able to buy shoes, including your dad, but you. You know how annoying that is.
Yeah.
They all wear the same size shoe, but me.
Well, the thing is, your brother's really tall too, right? I think.
Yeah, but he wears size 14.
It's crazy.
Momo, Marquise, Javon, my dad, and Momo all wear size 14.
Yeah, and I definitely want to get in and talk about the family tree as well, because you come from a basketball family, right? As long as I've known you, I've always seen you on the basketball court. Talk to me about, just your upbringing with basketball. How did basketball find you?
I would say that's what found me was through my dad. My dad played basketball. He could have played professionally, but he wanted to raise us. So credit for him for that. Then my uncles too. I have 2 7-foot uncles. So there's that right there.
That is insane.
And then they both played Division I college, and they both traveled overseas. This, that, and the next. And I just seen my dad play basketball just all the time. Like whether he would take us to let's say open gym or something like that, or he would take us like a tournament that he was playing in. Just things like that where he would just take us and we would just watch, and it was like, yeah, my dad's good.
Yeah, and it's as far as like you in basketball, how where was I gonna go with this next question? So I feel like I just drew a blank. But yeah, in Cambridge basketball, everybody wants to be a basketball player, right? You know that. And so, did you watch a lot of basketball growing up? Like, did you watch the pros? Did you watch college? And if you did, who did you idolize, I guess, growing up playing basketball?
Well, I also idolized my dad growing up because I looked up to my dad a lot as a kid. And as far as I did watch professional basketball mainly. I didn't really. The only time I watched college was like March Madness. I didn't really watch like regular season. I didn't have like specific college I wanted to go to or just watch or anything like that.
Yeah.
So what was I about to say? I just drew a blank too.
You good,
My
my
fault.
friend.
I let just drew a blank.
Yeah, no,
But
you good, my friend. Because I was thinking, you know, we've known each other since about high school, and like you, just me watching you. Every time you go into a door, you'd always have to duck your head in, duck your head going out. Like it was just, it was like I was watching a man amongst boys, and I remember I used to mess with you in class too. Like I would like throw things behind your head and you like throw a book at me or something like that. But you know, it's crazy because I'm it's crazy how, you know, you're in high school with someone and you sit right next to them, and then, but for you, you were a freshman on a varsity basketball team. Now, you know, compared to obviously other freshmen, right? You're like 6'8", where, you know, they're like maybe 6 foot, whatever. What was that like for you being a freshman on a varsity team? Like, was that intimidating? Like, what was that adjustment like playing from, I guess, going from playing middle school with people typically around your age range to now, you know, even though you might be taller than some of the people on the varsity team, they've kind of been around doing their thing for a couple years. What was that like going from, I guess, middle school basketball to being a freshman on varsity at Cambridge Ridge and Latin?
All right, before I answer that question, the question you asked me earlier from my favorite player who I looked up to was Kevin Garnett.
Kevin
That was the
Garnett,
guy.
big ticket,
Like,
man.
yeah, for whatever reason, I was just really drawn to him because he honestly made me feel like it was cool to be tall. To be honest,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Being tall, you're like going into your body. You're trying to figure out like, okay, and then if people expect you to be a certain way, well, you're not that certain way, they get upset. It's like, dude, I'm a 6', I'm 6'2". It's clearly not freaking normal. So it's like my body doesn't my mind, my body are not like intertwined. So it's like it's hard to figure out when this and the next. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I want to. All right,
But the,
I know. Let me stick with that for a minute because I wanted to go off that, right? So, you know, like like a gym I go to, right? There's this girl and she's like really tall. I can tell she's an athlete, right? But she doesn't look comfortable being tall at all. I can see like the neck is sort of hunched over a little bit. I guess like, you know, you kind of hit it right on the nose. I guess what was that like growing up and just being so much taller than your peers? Like, was that uncomfortable at all? Because for me, it was like you know, from the outside looking in, it seemed like the attention was obviously always on you. You're the tallest person in the room by like a mile, and you know I can just go in and out of doors. I don't got to think about it. You gotta like look to make sure you're not gonna, you know, bump your head on this, or if you're in the basement, you know, you gotta like up and duck. And you know, and you know, like yeah, I guess what was that like just being so tall and just being so stand outish at that age?
it was tough because like some people make you feel like you can't be a kid when you're that tall. Because
Yeah.
it's like, nah, you're too big to be doing it. Like I'm 12 years old. If I want as a 12-year-old, people treat me like I'm 15. I'm like, dude, I'm not 15. I'm only 12 years old. So I can't. People tell me to act your age. Also, this is a funny story too. People would always tell me to act my age, not my shoe size. But I'm wearing a size 12. I mean, I'm 12 years old, and I'm wearing a size 16. So what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I, that wouldn't correlate to me. So I'm just like, but so they would say, Jacquil, act your age on your shoes. So I'm just like, I wear a size 15. So what are you getting at?
Yeah. You know,
So like that just didn't correlate to me in my opinion.
and you know, I think that's interesting that you brought up how being a certain height can give people the perception, because I feel like I'm gonna use it, like I was watching this movie again last night, like Friday. You know the movie Friday, and you know
Oh, of
Debo, like you know
course, of
big dude in the
course.
streets. I feel like the perception of someone being tall and big is that, you know, they're supposed to be like mean, almost angry and mature, and just sort of like, I don't know, like head and shoulders above everybody else. But you're saying like
Mm-hmm.
that's not the type of person that you were or you are. And that was one of those things. Did you feel like that type of like, it seemed like that sort of almost perception was sort of put like, yo, like, I mean, like you were saying, like you're a certain height or whatever, and people expect you to be a certain way, but like, you know, you grew physically, but it's like you're still 12, 11, you know, 13, 14, whatever. It's like, you know, you're still a kid. You're maybe 6'2", 6'5", but you're still a kid. So, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, that's interesting you bring that up, because I've thought about that before too. And you know, going off that, I guess, you know, and that kind of leads into the question of, for you being a young kid, yes, you're tall, but you're a young kid on a varsity team that's full of veterans, juniors, and seniors. What was that like being on that team your freshman year at Ringe and Latin?
Honestly, it really was not that hard for me personally because like I've played against grown men since I was in 7th grade. Just being thoroughly honest, like my dad had us play against grown men since we were very, very young. And then I played against high schoolers all the time, like through AAU, through just regular summer basketball, spring basketball. Like I always played with kids older than me because like if I played with kids my age was like a joke. Just being honest, because like playing against kids your age, you're not getting any better. So it's like if I want to play Division I don't really have that aspiration just yet. But if I wanted to play on varsity as a freshman, I had to play against grown men. Don't get me wrong. It was not easy at all. It was not easy because my uncle was like, I'm almost like 30 something right now, but like what's so messed up is that when I was in 8th grade, right?
Yeah.
So my dad was guarding my uncle, and we were just playing like I think 2-on-2 or 3-on-3 something like that. It was me, my brother, my dad, and my uncle. Now, here's how I know my dad's messed up for this. So my uncle is 7 foot. My uncle's strong as hell. Strong as hell. My dad's also strong as hell too. And I have to guard my brother because obviously he's my brother. I want to beat him. So hold on one second.
You good?
Okay, it's good. All right, it's good. So my uncle's like killing I'm talking about killing him. Like he literally just like flat out bullying him.
Your pops. Your uncle's killing your pops.
My dad. my uncle was killing my dad, killing him. I'm like, damn. And then my dad's like, switch. He's too strong for me. I was like, I'm in 8th grade.
Oh my God.
What do you want me to do about it? If he's killing you, what do you expect me to do?
Hey, you know how it is, Jacquil. It's like you even see it with LeBron these days. It's like, listen, you don't see LeBron guarding the other team's best player. Maybe not until maybe like the last 4 or 5 minutes of each half. It's like, yo, you're gonna put some other guard on him and then hope that he can kind of wear him down because Pops is like, yo, I can't play offense and defense against this dude. Like, it's got to be one or the other, and you probably want to score more than you want to play deep. So he looked at you as like the sacrificial lamb in a way. That's crazy.
But it was worse for me.
Yeah, because it's like I bet you, how you gonna guard your because not only is your pops taller than you, your uncle, he's bigger and he's stronger, and he's probably playing in the post because that's where he's got the advantage. You're not gonna beat that. All he has to do is just back up once and then boom, you on the ground.
I was like, dude, this is so messed up.
But
dude, I was like, come on, man. Why you gotta do that?
But it sounds like that kind of gave you the edge and it had you being prepared to play with kids who are, older than you and maybe play basketball a little bit longer. Now, I noticed that, as being a rookie, someone that kind of gets brought in as sort of the prodigy, right? Sometimes veterans can feel a certain type of way, right? Who's this rookie out here trying to, like, you think you're going to take my spot? Did you feel that sort of, I guess, tension at all from teammates as far as like, yo, like, just because, whatever you're 6, whatever, and you're a freshman, you're varsity, I don't mean like you're not just going to come in and take my spot or take my minutes. Or was it like that? Or was this kind of like, like, hey, like, arms around, hey, kind of selfless. Hey, if it happens, it happens, but we're all in this together kind of thing.
The thing is, though, I've been around a lot, so it wasn't really that big of an issue for me. And also, like, I had something that most other guys just didn't have. Like, I'm not throwing shade at no one, but like some guys couldn't use their opposite hand, and I could use both. So it's like, I'm kind of more advanced than most of these guys. So I'm just, I'm not being that. Can I curse?
Go listen. This is unfiltered, uninterrupted. I want you to be you.
Okay, I didn't want to be an ass or nothing. So it's like,
I curse on the show all the time.
I didn't know what kind of show this was. I just want clarification.
No, I apologize. I was thinking of my tag. I was thinking I should have let you know ahead of time. Hey man, for you, anything's on the table, man. You can curse. This podcast, this is about bringing on, people who I really look up to, and I want them to be themselves, authentic, uninterrupted. You know, this is your platform. This is the platform to elevate yourself, or for me to elevate you guys to an even higher level than you're already at. So, you know, let it fly, man.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Okay. I just want to make sure I don't
yeah.
want to just curse and just like,
Yeah.
hey man, you got to chill out.
I appreciate it. I make sure to hit it's right. They're right next to each other. It's clean and it's explicit. I make sure it's explicit so no one gets confused on what type of show this is.
Okay.
Now,
I just want clarification.
yeah, no, I appreciate you looking out for me though. But on the basketball side of things, you know, as far as school, were you were at Renge for 1 year or was it 2 years? Well, two.
Sure.
Okay. Now, I was one of those people who was shocked when you transferred. You know, like, you know, this is just me looking out from the outside, and I'm not like connected to any of the coaches or players like that, anything like that. But just looking at it from the outside, and it seemed like Renge wanted you to be the next Ramil Robinson, Patrick Ewing sort of thing. It seemed like all the coaches were like, yo, like we want Jacquil Taylor to, you know, be on the all-time scoring list, et cetera, et cetera. What went into your decision to, I guess, leave Renge and play basketball at another school? And where did you transfer? Because I was trying to, I probably should have looked that up before, but I want to know, like, what was your mindset as far as transferring, and where did you end up transferring to? And I guess, you know, what went into that?
Well, first of all, it was not my decision to transfer. It wasn't. I'm just being
Okay.
totally honest. So, but I transferred to Beaver Country Day School because my dad felt like in order for me to in order for me to go where I want to go, I had to leave Renge.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what he felt. At the time, I was like, man, I'm like, dude, this is kind of stupid. Like, this, that, next. But it's like, I don't know, Momo didn't really feel like Momo was getting the credit he deserved.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, honestly, the last game we played, the last game I played, I played flat out like shit. It's just not. I played terrible.
Mm-hmm.
My brother was freaking balling. Like he was having a game.
Yeah.
But then he got hurt, so I was like, damn, he's the one who's actually killing right now. And the thing is, everyone saw Momo was killing, but the coaches. No shit on anybody, but it's just like no one really gave him his credit he deserved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know, I'm not gonna throw shade at anyone's names, but a brother's been to a couple barbershops, and I've heard certain things, and you know, this is not the first time I've heard that they were a lot of very talented basketball players like yourself and your brother who, for one reason or another, were not getting the light shined on them by coaches at Renge. I don't know why, but I've heard this many, many times. And I think, you know, it's really disappointing to hear that because, you know, first off, as a big sports fan myself, I hate seeing talent gone wasted, right? And it's one of those things where I don't like seeing bias in sports. Like, I think the best guys should play. It doesn't matter, son, daughter, whatever, family, bloodline. If that's the best player, you put them in. You know, another thing to go off that is I've noticed how, you know, it's not uncommon for elite basketball players in high school the school you transferred, was it a private school?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's not uncommon for athletes to go from public schools to private schools because private schools tend to, more times than not, get better looks as far as, you know, going to this school, and that school. Now, you said it wasn't your choice to make that transfer. As far as the transfer going from Renge to there, what was that like on a basketball level and a social level? Because obviously growing up in Cambridge, you knew everybody around here. Was it like, What was it like when you went to the private school you transferred? I forget the name of it again. You said it was Bay something?
Beaver Country Day School.
Beaver Country Day School. Okay. What was that experience like?
That was one of the tough experiences I've ever had because, like, I mean, as you can see, Renge, you see different people every day.
Right.
You won't see the same person every day. It was like over 5,000 students, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see someone different every day. Now you may run the same people most of the time, but most of the time you'll see someone different. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like a mini college, if you would say.
Yeah.
But like going to Beaver Country Day, like the middle school and the freaking high school are attached. There's like 500 to 600 students in the school, so everyone knows everything about everybody.
Yikes.
So it's just like not to mention, it was like a predominantly white and Jewish school, which is not something I'm really the most comfortable with. So like that first year, my dad told me I got to change how I dress, I got to change how I do this, I got to change how I talk. I'm just like, why the hell? I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, why the hell do I have to change who I am for somebody else? That doesn't. I'm not following that. Like, I got to wear khakis and I got to wear a polo. I'm just like, dude, I'm not a preppy kid. I'm from the city. So it's just like, I mean, at the time I didn't understand because like, dude, I'm not trying to impress none of these people. I don't care about none of these people. Like, so it's like, as far as I'm concerned, it's like, honestly, who the hell cares what they think about me? That's what I thought. But like, and then honestly, that first year was tough too because I struggled academically because the school was just, it was more advanced academic than what I expected, and it's just I didn't really fall into the right. I didn't start off well. I didn't start off well. Also, what I did I also found this kind of messed up too. People thought I was stupid when I first came.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. A 6'10" black dude coming to a prep school, a predominantly white school too. So, like, let's be honest. If you see a 6'10" and a 6'7" black dude walk in, chances are you're gonna be judged immediately.
Yeah, that's
the moment you walk in. So it's just like, I'm like looking around. I'm seeing eyes just stare at both me and Momo. I'm just like, okay.
You know, there's really something to that, right? Because, and I didn't realize this until I left Cambridge to go to college in New Hampshire. Cambridge is one of the most culturally and racially diverse cities in New England. Honestly, I would dare say in the entire country, right? There's, you know, the way we talk, the way we dress, everything. We're so unique. You got, you know, you got black kids that, you know, you remember freshman year when skinny jeans was a thing and the skinny jeans and the flannel era. You was a part of that too. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But you know, but you had some white kids doing the same thing. But you also had some black kids and white kids that didn't know how to dress at all. You know, they might dress a little more preppier. Maybe they didn't have any swag. But the reality is there was so much of that diversity. You would get a little bit of everything everywhere. So it never felt like you were really an outsider because there was a piece of that pie for everybody. Like but when I went to college in New Hampshire, a predominantly white school, for myself, I didn't realize, like, I wasn't like a hood rat or anything like that in high school. You know me, I was a goofy kid, right? Like, you know,
we both were.
Yeah, and the thing is, and so I didn't. But when I went from Cambridge to Colby Sawyer College, that's when I realized how different I am from everybody else outside of that inner city. Like for me, I'm just, you know, another black kid in Cambridge doing whatever out there. I'm basically ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Like I dress differently. Like I wear Jordans. Like I can wear skinny jeans when I'm going out. Like I dress nice. You'll see me with a chain. You'll see me, you know, maybe a Ralph Lauren, something, you know, something like that. But that was so different going out there. And for me, myself, like I felt like I always had to think about what I was going to say before I said it because people didn't understand. I don't even like calling it broken English, but they didn't understand the slang, the way that we talk being in the city. Yeah. And that made things really uncomfortable. And I could give you stories for days in depth of what that was like. But, you know, it's little things like I could say, yo, Jacquil, I'm hungry. I'm about to get some grub. You'll know what I'm talking about. I say that to somebody out there. They'll be like, yo, what's grub? And I'm just like, now I feel like an idiot, but I'm like, I'm not ghetto. Like I go back home. I'm just another, you know, I can show you where the ghetto's at, but it's just, I know what that's like. And just all the eyes are on you now just for being black. And even though people might not say things directly to you, you can see it in the body language and how they stare at you. And it kind of puts you in this cold, isolated box. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And, you know, I wanted to transfer after freshman year. Like that was a really, really tough experience for me. I mean, luckily I had some brothers up there that I was really cool with and, you know, we were tight and what have you. But, you know, that's one of those things that I've heard from multiple fellas like us who had to go from the city to go into more predominantly white areas. And it's not just a racial transition, it's the cultural transition too. Because you'll see white kids in Cambridge that are like that identify heavy with inner city culture, black culture, what have you. But even the ones that don't, it's like they still get it. You know what I mean? Whereas like you go out there, it's like
They
you're
don't
like,
get it at all.
yeah. So it's I
They
know
don't get
exactly,
it.
and it can be tough to succeed because you just want to have fun. Obviously you stay out of trouble and play basketball, but now as a 15-year-old kid, you're getting
A
lessons
huge
at home.
culture shock.
Yeah, but it's like I was 18, 19 going through that, like I'm going 2 hours away. Like you're in high school. Like high school's tough for everybody. It doesn't matter where you go to school. So now you got to transfer and basically adapt an entire new style of living when you're still trying to figure out who you really are. Because that's what we're going through in high school as young adults. We're trying to figure out who we want to be. So, I can really empathize with what you were going through. And, I want to bring it back to you, of course, and family. Momo, for me looking out the outside in, you guys have always been close, like, brothers keeper. Talk to me about your relationship with Momo.
Well, first off, me and Momo, we're only a year apart. People think we're twins all the time because they always see us together.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, people always thought I was older because I was small. So it's just like, nah, he's actually older. So yeah, there's that. But like, Momo's the person I've always wanted to be. Because like for our
That's awesome.
entire
That's
lives,
so sweet.
I could never beat him.
Yeah.
Like when we both started playing basketball, I could never beat him. Like I just could not beat him.
That's that older brother swag, Jacquil. That's that wall, Jacquil. That's that big brother wall, man.
It made me so mad. I'm like, dude, what the hell am I not doing? I'm taller than him. I'm not stronger than him yet. But it's like what am I not doing? It made me like I was like, the thing is, it's like each time I was getting closer and closer, but it just like I could never get over the hump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, hold on. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you when I beat him.
Okay.
I'm gonna get that in a second. So my freshman year, right? Oh, not my freshman. That wasn't my freshman year. It was his freshman year and my senior year. So we played 1-on-1 again. We played best of 3. 3 dribbles, something like that. So
in college.
No, he's in college. And I'm still in high school.
Okay.
I'm a senior in high school though.
Okay.
And this is like after my injury, by the way, too. It's like after I broke my foot. But I was still fairly ready. But I played him, and I lost to him by 2 points. If you don't understand, dude, actually, I'm not lost to him by either 1 or 2 points. Yo, I was so it was at Frisoli. I started kicking over stuff, banging doors out, launching everything. I'm like, this is bullshit. What? Why? What the fuck? Like, I was so mad, and like everyone, Gio was obviously there too. So Gio was just like, oh, jeez, Gio lost again. So, but like this one was different because I was literally like this close, literally this close. Like I'm talking about inches away from beating him.
You had the bite at the apple. Right? You licked you had the apple in your hand. You was looking at, you knew what the flavor was. You just couldn't bite the apple.
I couldn't reach it. But then here's when it finally happened. When it finally happened, my junior year of college. We actually, yeah, it was my junior year. So I came back home, right, for just a little bit. Now I was gonna go back over to school to Purdue, and then what happened? So he challenged me to 1-on-1. Obviously,
he challenged
you. He challenged me. Yes.
Does he normally challenge you, or do you normally challenge him, or is this kind of like just goes back and forth?
It goes back and forth.
Okay.
But he challenged me more than most of the time, though.
Okay.
So he was talking crazy. I'm talking about like talking crazy. like I'm gonna do this. I'm like this. I didn't say a single word. Not a damn thing. Not a single word. Like I came in early. I started stretching, getting loose. This and the next. he wasn't coming off the train and just think he's just gonna whoop my ass. So I'm just like, all right, okay. So you ready? I'm just like, I've been ready.
Like, you're not going to stretch? You're not going to warm up? Not going to run a lap?
I'm like, so you go not stretch and not warm up. I'm just like, what are you doing? So then we played. We played at Beaver actually because the gym was open. It was like summertime, so you know they let us go and play in the gym. This, that, and the next. So the first play I get, so he makes this first shot. I think I got the ball first because like you shoot for ball. So I think he missed. I got the ball, and then so the first possession, I think his thing though. He didn't realize how strong I got because from my time at Purdue, right? I played against 7-footers that were twice my size, and guys that were twice my size. And as I mentioned, I'm like at this time I'm 235, and he's like 215. So my mom like, dude, you didn't see what you didn't see or go through what I have to go through. So when I see you, I'm busting your ass. So later, the first time I got it, jabbed, drove right, dipped my shoulder to him. He literally bounced off of me, and I scored. It set the tone right there.
Set the tone right there, man. Yo, that's the muscle you picked up on junior year, man. Oh man,
he was like, God damn.
You probably heard him go,
like,
yeah. Did he? You know when you give someone a shot, and they're like, they kind of hold their breath for a minute. That's what happened.
He was like, oh God damn, what the damn. He's like, damn, this nigga's strong.
Oh my God.
So yeah, and honestly, that day that was the first time I actually beat him. I was like, yes. He was just like this. Crazy. You know what's crazy too?
Yeah.
The whole train, right? He ain't talking to me. He ain't talking back home.
Nah, man. What you did? You put your hand. You stuck in his chest. You ripped his soul right out. See, that's the thing, because it wasn't even about basketball. It's like little brother finally beat big brother. See, he got used to it in his mind that he was gonna win. He didn't have to stretch. He could basically just come off the train and drop 12 on you. But he didn't know what you had gone through being on the battlefield at Purdue your junior year. I bet that felt good as hell, man. I bet you was talking all types of shit to him the whole way. Were you like throwing things around the gym, like throwing balls around celebrating, or was you just mellow cool about it?
I celebrated. I celebrated my ass. I was like, yes, finally. No one saw it. All one dude saw it was a freaking janitor.
Oh,
so
man.
it was like, well, this sucked. No one else saw this. I was like, yes, finally,
man.
Finally. I talked hella shit.
What?
I posted on Snapchat. I said, yeah, I finally beat him.
Oh,
I finally beat him.
I bet.
About time.
I bet that was a hell of a day at the family dinner that night. I bet the family table I bet that was an interesting family Thanksgiving family dinner that night.
Everybody. I told everybody. I told everybody. Immediately. I told everybody immediately. I'm just like, I finally beat him. I told my dad too. My dad was like, took you long enough. Like, what the hell? But the thing is, no one saw it, so no one believed it.
Yeah.
But so my senior year though is when it actually happened. Like, people actually saw me beat him.
Mm-hmm.
But what's crazy at my senior year, he really should have beat me my senior year. Because like my senior year at Purdue, I was gonna transfer to Hofstra. What's crazy? This man had me down 9-5. The game was to 10. He literally had to score just one bucket. Literally just had to score one bucket. But what's crazy is that literally all I did was just put my head down and did that. That I really shouldn't have done the thing. My brother was making some ridiculous stuff. Like he was doing moves that I ain't never seen him do. I'm just like, yo, you ain't never do this in school. So now you want to do this to me because it's me and I beat you that one time. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. Okay, I'm okay. So I'm just like, and I'm making shots that I ain't making in a while. Just like I beat him twice, 10-9.
That's wild. That's wild. You had him down.
Correct. I was down both times. Hey, a win's a win. I was like,
yo, I bet you, like, you know, that Jacquil being an athlete, when it's personal, you play with a different edge. You start hitting shots that you don't normally hit. You start getting moves that wasn't working in practice. It's just like when you're in that zone, there is nothing that can stop you. And you know, with you playing Division I basketball, I mean, so for you and Momo, you know, you went to Purdue. Where did Momo go to college?
I went to Niagara University.
Okay. Now, would you guys like meet up in the off seasons and whatnot and train together, or was it kind of like you train, you know, you kind of do your thing at Purdue, he does his thing at where he's at, and then you guys kind of meet when you can type of thing? Like, how did that work as far as like y'all's training regimen, you know, in college, like during your college years?
It's kind of like me when we can type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
because like my schedule was way different than his schedule. Like my season, like my schedule started a lot earlier than what his schedule did. So our schedules didn't really intertwine with each other. So it was kind of different.
And where's his school located? Because I know Purdue is like, that's like the it's in I know it's in the Midwest. Where's his college located?
His college is located in it's like Niagara's like right next to Canada.
Okay. Oh yeah. So he's basically in the Midwest too. Okay.
Kind of.
So I mean, like, how did y'all balance that out? Because I mean, it sounds like as brothers, it was always friendly competition, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's so cool because, I mean, I think as brothers, that's the best you can get, right? You're friends, but you're also rivals in the sense where it's like you guys grow and push each other to be your best. You know, I mean, you know, it sounds like you play basketball your whole life against people who are older than you, bigger than you, stronger than you. You know, with Momo, I guess it's like that guy, he was always, you know, that's your keeper, right? He was always in your corner pushing you to be your best. I guess, how much do you contribute? I mean, how much do you credit him to, you know, being where you are now?
Honestly, if it wasn't for him and my dad, I would not be where I am right now, because the thing is, my brother and my dad would always call me out on my crap. Always. Whether I want to hear it or not. If I was playing like dog shit, they would tell me, like, Jacquil, if you don't start playing better, we ain't gonna win this goddamn game.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. They would tell me straight up just like that. And it's just like I didn't want to disappoint my brother or my dad, so I kind of had to figure something out. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just like it's hard. It's hard for me because I'm always the biggest target. Always, no matter what, I was always the biggest target. Even to this day, I'm still the biggest target, because like I like as far as a big man goes, I don't know what your viewers think about this or whatnot, but as far as a big man goes, the big man has to basically set the tone for the game and how it's going to be played.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if the game starts out people thinking that they can just come in the paint and just do this and do this, like get layup, dunks, this and the next, do whatever they want, get in the paint. As far as other big men too, thinking to do whatever they want, it's like you already lost the game right there. Because then in their mind, they think that they own you already. So as far as like a big man goes for like any team, you have to set the tone that that no one can just come in your house and just steal your shit. That's more or less what it is.
Yeah, I never thought about it in that context, but that, I guess that was something that I kind of always like thought about. You know what I mean? It always gets talked about, right? Like when it comes to, so, you know, and I was going to get into this, but, you know, we live in a time now where everybody likes to talk about positionless basketball, but you still need an interior presence. And the teams that usually go on to win championships in the NBA have that interior defensive presence. That's what's been holding the Celtics back, specifically in recent years. We haven't had that interior presence. You don't necessarily need like a traditional 1970s center, but you need someone who can protect the paint. That's how you stop the LeBrons and the Giannis's and the Kawhis from being able to dominate, is getting that penetration.
Okay, hold on, time out. Let's be honest. I don't think anyone's stopping Giannis, in my opinion.
Well,
if Giannis comes a full head of steam, I don't know. I'm just saying. After his last performance, hey, bro, I'm just saying. I don't know.
He was on a different energy last year. He was on a different energy. This guy, it would have been interesting to see if Philadelphia had played Milwaukee to see what a Joel Embiid, Giannis playoff series would have looked like. But
that would have been very interesting.
Yeah.
That would have been very
with Doc Rivers coaching that team and then being known for their size and length, I mean, even their point guard Ben Simmons is like 7 feet. So that I'm not saying they would have stopped him, but we have seen. I mean, granted, recent, now is now, and Giannis ran through the league, but was it like 2 years ago when Toronto and Kawhi, when they found a way to sort of clamp down on him, and I shouldn't say stop him, but I would say contain him enough, right, where they were able to have some sort of interior presence. So for you, like you were saying, as a big man, it's like the spotlight's always on you. When the defense, when you're giving up X amount of many points, the first thing we're thinking about is, okay, who's guarding the paint, right? The defense always starts with the big man. When you'll hear whatever people call players soft, thinking about it now, you rarely ever hear them say that about point guards or guards. They're usually saying that about, big men or interior players. So you're right. There is a lot more added pressure that I guess I was never conscious about, but it was sort of always in the back of my mind. And, for you, you're playing at Purdue, right? Purdue nationally televised games. What was that transition like playing, basketball at, playing basketball at a private school versus playing basketball at Purdue and then at one point Hofstra? Obviously, you're playing with different competition, but for my viewers who I don't think some people really understand like how different that transition can be from high school to college. Talk to me about what that was like.
I'm gonna be honest, that was probably one of the hardest transitions I've ever been a part of.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought Beaver was a hard transition. Nah. Like transition from Beaver to Purdue. Like, what's crazy? I had to play against an NBA player every single day in practice. Every single day.
Wow.
So the thing is, now don't get me wrong, that was probably the most frustrated I've ever been. As far like mentally, that might have been the hardest year for me personally, because as far as the mental aspect, and it was crazy that people don't understand is basketball is literally 90% mental.
Mm-hmm.
So if you already lost to, you already lost the battle. Yeah. If you ever stop believing in yourself, this is just for you up there too. If you ever stop believing in yourself, then you already lost. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, but going back to the story. So freshman year, it was tough. Like, so here's why I knew I might be playing the wrong position. I came in 6'10", 220. Right?
In the Purdue,
now, what's crazy, I could really I was 6'10",
okay.
I was 220. What's crazy, I could really shoot the basketball. I could really shoot my freshman year. But like, I wanted to play the 5 because that's just what I always played my entire life. I didn't really, like, I've always been a tallest player, so I've never really had to really play any other position but the 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, then I go to Purdue and I'm seeing what real 5s look like.
There's some grown boys. Some of these fellas, where they be coming from in the countryside, they be drinking that milk.
Hey man,
straight from the udder, man.
What's crazy that the first dude I met, his name was, he actually turned to be my roommate too.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Isaac Haas. He was a freshman with me too. This man was 7'2", 315 as a freshman.
Yo, what is this boy eating that? I was probably like 140.
Hold on. He was from Alabama. That's why.
Okay.
From Alabama.
That's what I'm saying.
So
man.
It makes a lot more sense.
Yo, straight.
That's not my fault. I came in at 206. I came in at 206. That's what I came in at.
Jacquil, this dude is like, you're either 17 or you're 18 if you're going to college right out of high school. And you're and you're 7 and you weigh and you're like 3-something pounds. Like, that is insane. This dude is probably drinking milk straight out of the udder, man. Straight out of the cow's udder. That's Alabama. That's country strength right there, man. That's country strong. That's what we call country strong.
Oh man, he was so damn strong.
Just probably pushing horses.
Hey, it was crazy
with his bare hands.
Bro, Bro, it didn't make sense. And then there was this other dude named AJ Hammons who led the Big Ten and blocked shots. Whose arms were like his arm was so long he was scratching his knee standing up. And he's 7 foot. So it's like I think AJ was like what 260, 270. He was around that range. So it's just like I had to go against each of these dudes. So here's how I knew. Okay, maybe this is probably the wrong thing. This is probably the wrong position I'm playing. So our first day of let's say it's called individuals, right? So it was bigs, guards, and then forwards. I was with the bigs, obviously. So I could really shoot the basketball, but the thing is, I've never had to play against someone who was twice my size, and it's just like I honestly did not know how to handle it. Because let's be honest. When I say these dudes whoop my ass almost every day as a freshman, I mean they literally kicked my ass literally I'm talking about like damn it every day to the point where I'm just like, what do you want me to do, coach? My coach was some shit. You gotta hit him. I'm like, oh damn. Like I would literally try to hit this dude and he wouldn't even feel it. Like, and he was just like, I'm just like, yeah.
What are you gonna do?
And then like they hit me. I'm literally going flying to the rafters. I'm just like,
that's wild.
Yeah, I'm getting cussed out by everybody. Like, you gotta hit him. I'm just like, okay, I can only do so much, but all right.
It's like trying to punch him.
Okay.
You'll hurt yourself. You'll hurt yourself trying to hurt him.
That's what it felt like. That is literally what it felt like. I was like, dude, what the hell am I not doing? So it's just like when I was like I said, I could really shoot. So like don't get me wrong, they busted my ass a lot, but I busted their ass a lot too because I could really shoot the basketball, and they didn't know I could shoot like that either. So and like I might have been at a disadvantage as far as size wise, but as far as let's say quickness goes, I had advantage.
Athletic ability, and Jacquil, it's
yeah.
I mean, you literally went to college during a time when basketball is making a huge transitions. Now players your size, they're getting away from the rim. They're shooting, they're hitting shots behind the rim. It's you got 7-footers hitting threes now. Was shooting something that you had worked on at home with your family? Like, was that something that you guys keyed on in, or did it just kind of, I guess, more or less come naturally to you?
What's crazy is that I could shoot by but for whatever reason my senior year after I got hurt. So like I realized like I may not be the same athlete I once was, so I'm gonna have to be able to make jump shots. And then for whatever reason, my senior year I had a flamethrower. Like I don't know. Like I'm talking
cold-blooded.
Like dude, it was crazy. Like I really had a flamethrower. To the point, like, damn, like we might have to like guard dude out there.
We might have to put a hand on that man. We might have to put a glove on that hand, cool him off a little bit for a few minutes. Oh man.
What's crazy that we had this one drill where we had to make as many threes as possible in I think 1 minute. And what's crazy, I might have made 15 to maybe 16 threes in 1 minute. I was like, damn. Like I'm talking about I literally did not miss in that one drill. And the thing is, my dad always told me you gotta be able to expand your game because you don't know what's gonna be at the next level. I'm just like, well, that makes sense. But the thing is, like, I really don't think Beaver really prepared me to play at Purdue because the fact of the matter is I'm playing against kids who are all like this fucking small.
Right.
And then like at Purdue, everyone was like literally this. Like I've never been in a situation where I've been one of the shortest people on the team. I've never been in that situation. So it's like, honestly though, no one could have really prepared me for that because like I've always been the tallest person. But now I see someone who's actually twice my size and twice my weight. So like it's very different, honestly, to go against that.
I
You know what I'm
bet.
saying?
I don't know if you know LeBron's show, The Shop. I was watching because, let's say it was like my last day at HBO Max. But long story short, they were talking about Zion and how, you know, it was so impressive to see how well Zion performed in college because they were like, okay, it's different in high school when, you're basically dunking on a bunch of unathletic, short little white kids. Now you're in college, you're playing with people who are the biggest, strongest, fastest dudes and probably the best player in their state. Now you guys are all in one arena. It's a lot different. Now you get to know, okay, does my game transfer at the next level? And there is another level after that, right? When the pros, but still the high school to that college level is still a big transfer because especially if you're playing at a smaller private school, Jacquil, there's not people walking around who are 6'8", 6'10", right? Like that's not your fault. That you never really got to play against anybody outside of maybe your family members at that level. Like people don't grow to be that tall, right? Most of my friends, that half of them are shorter than me. And so it's like, it's one of those things where to get over that hump, I imagine like, the gym, the off season, that's when you really got to put time in the weight room and growing. And, and something you were talking to is being able to expand your game. I remember LeBron was talking about how, he had to learn how to kind of work on his jump shot because the game was evolving and it's all about having that growth mindset. I think some people think that you get better as the season goes along, but I've heard from players like yourself, it's more about what you do in the off season. Is it like, what is the key to that jump to get from, okay, the freshman who's kind of new, not really there yet, to that maybe second year or whatever have you, where it all comes together and it slows down? Like what is it? Is it the off season? Is it just being in the system long enough? Like what constitutes the growth spurt?
I would say it's a combination of all the above because like by you being in the system, you know what to expect. Like, you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was wondering if you could hear me for a second.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you kind of like cut out. You kind of like cut out just a little bit, but you're good now.
My
I would say it's a combination of both. You have to put on work in the off season, and then you have to put in time like as well, and then time after that, and then leading up to it as well. So I think it all translates. But I would say that the biggest thing is this: like as far as like your mental aspect goes, if you lose that, you already lost your battle. Because like I said, the game is literally 90% mental. Don't get me wrong. The physical attributes definitely help. Being six, like Ben Simmons, being 6'10" and be able to run like a point guard. It's freaking ridiculous. That definitely helps. But as far as the mental aspect goes, if you don't have that, then you already lost. You already lost it. You just lost right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel that. I don't know if you know this WNBA player. She's from Australia, and she talked about how she had to, it was a really difficult adjustment for her going from playing in the WNBA to the All-Star game to the Olympics, because one thing that we as fans, who like to, tweet on Twitter understand is how difficult it is to learn a new system, learn new plays and all that. And she was talking about how that was really bad for her mental health. She was like, if I play in the Olympics, like she's never going to do the whole Olympic WNBA thing again, because it was just too much to sort of take in all at once, being with so many different teams and so many different systems. How I guess it sounds like that all plays a factor too, as far as it being mental. Like there's plays you got to know, and just being able to be mentally tough as far as your confidence in yourself, the jumper, and just being able to adjust to the game. Before, I get into the big, I'm thinking, I don't know which one I should talk about first, but yeah, well, let me stick on this topic. So as far as long as I've known you've come back from some really bad knee injuries. One of the things that I want you to
Foot injuries.
I'm sorry.
I'm interrupted, but foot injuries, yeah.
Foot injuries. Yeah, tell me about the mental aspect of coming back from an injury, because whenever I see someone get hurt, and sometimes I see, fans casually say, oh, he'll be back in that much fine. I'm like, yo, you don't know what that's going to be like. I don't think you guys realize how difficult rehab can be. You might not be the same player, and you don't know what someone's going through mentally during that. Like, I've heard athletes talk about how those were some of the lowest moments of their lives, and they did not know if they wanted to continue to play the sport. Talk to me about your experience with injuries and being able to come back and bounce back stronger from them.
Well, as far as my first injury goes, it actually happened in high school my junior year.
I think I
And
remember.
what's crazy that my junior year, I feel like that was probably one of the best. That's probably one of the best I've ever been in a while. Like, as far as like we just won a championship the year before, so I'm feeling like super confident right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling like on top of the world type of stuff. Like, we're trying to win back to back. So I was like, man, ain't no one gonna mess with us as long as it's only do we gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what I believe. But it's just like when we played Worcester Academy, right? Mm-hmm. It was crazy. Like, I truly believe that we could have smacked them by at least 20 if I was still playing. I truly believe that. But like, for whatever reason, I jump, land, and my foot just falls apart. Like, literally, my foot literally just I literally broke my foot just by doing this. Just by landing. It was ridiculous. Like, I literally watched that film over at least 20 plus times. I really couldn't figure out like what the hell exactly happened. Like, I thought I rolled it. I literally just landed. My foot just broke. And like, when I saw my foot and I saw the X-ray, I'm like, damn. My mind, like, dude, if and they said I needed surgery and I needed to get all my entire foot fixed. It was called a Lisfranc fracture, right? So you know how the bones connect your feet like this? Mm-hmm. So say this is my pinky toe, right? Just like that.
Oh my God, that sounds terrible. That sounds terrible.
When I saw my foot, I was like, I was literally screaming in pain because I was literally screaming in pain. That shit was so damn painful.
I remember I vividly remember you posting about it, and I could tell like you were devastated. Like, I felt like I was watching somebody's soul, even though I didn't see it obviously, but when I saw it, and you correct me if I'm wrong, it seemed like, because I don't really remember. I remember vividly, but it seemed like that was tough. That was really tough for you emotionally, mentally, obviously physically, the whole nine. And you said you didn't land awkwardly or anything like that, right? You basically just came down and it was just like, boom.
I literally just landed and my foot just broke. There's no way to go about it. But as far as the mental aspect goes, honestly, I was very depressed. Very depressed. Mm-hmm. Because, like, let's be honest, not being able to walk is hard as hell. You literally can't do anything by yourself.
Yeah.
So like I'm someone who's literally the most probably antisocial person you could probably meet. I'm not the most social. I'm not the most. I don't like to ask for help all the time. Mm-hmm. So this is a situation where I actually have to literally ask for help, and it was like it wasn't the easiest thing for me to do. To be honest, mm-hmm. And because like I really had to have someone with me at all times because like when we went to lunch at school, I couldn't carry my own tray. Because if I tried to carry it, that it was spilled everywhere, and that would have been a mess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I need. The thing is, people were actually willing to help me. That says a lot about who I am as well. People were actually willing to help me, and it's just Absolutely. Like I don't know. It was also just tough just watching my team play, and I couldn't do anything to help them.
So I didn't know you guys won a championship your junior year at Beaver.
We actually won my first year there because I reclassified as a sophomore.
Okay, so you won your first year there.
Yes. I ain't gonna lie. That first year was, like I said, that first year was a bit of an adjustment. That's the year I left. Mm-hmm. That first year was a bit of an adjustment for the fact that, well, I had to adjust a whole new coach. So like going from Lansdowne to Juan Figueroa is like it's like night and day. Mm-hmm. So it didn't make sense in my opinion. In fact, I didn't really know Figs, so it's like I like this is literally the first time I ever met this guy. I know nothing about it. Mm-hmm. So like I know LD, so LD can say a few things here and there, and he can say this, that, and next, and I might listen and I might not listen. So it's a little bit of both sometimes. But like with Figs, it was like I'm talking about this dude would just literally just cuss me out like I'm talking about like cuss me the hell out. Yo, what the fuck are you doing? That's some bullshit. Yeah. Like I'm talking about dude, I'm talking about every day I feel like I was always getting yelled at. I'm just like, dude, I'm like, dude, have I done anything right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about that whole year I was just being cussed at constantly. I'm talking about like just nonstop. I'm just like, dude, I'm getting okay. I think I made the wrong decision at this point.
Yeah.
But then here's the crazy thing though. Here's where I didn't really. It took me a while to actually talk to him because I don't really know. It takes me a while to get used to people.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how I am. I don't just trust people just right away. That's just you have to. In my opinion, you have to earn like my trust. I don't just talk to people just to talk to people.
Absolutely.
So I didn't have my best practice, and then he told me he called me into his office after practice. Right, he told me, Jacquil, you have a chance to be one of the best players I've ever coached, and that you have a chance to be one of the best players ever come out of this school, if not the best. I was just like, I feel a little better about that now.
It's like all that yelling, screaming, cursing out. It was all love, right? It was all to get you to that next level.
The thing is, though, one thing I learned is that if a coach yells at you, he cares. If he doesn't at you, that's when you should be worried. That's just you really doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, and the thing is, Jacquil, like obviously you played for a ton of different places. As far as the coaching dynamic, how important is the coach? Oh, my fault. Did it cut out for a sec?
No, you good. You good.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, how important is the coach factor? Because obviously, like I never play basketball at that level, but just playing, running college track and whatever. Different coaches have different styles. Some coaches are yellers, some are more mellow. How important is the coaching factor? And do you have like a specific kind of coach that you sort of prefer? Like I know some players, they don't like being yelled at by their coaches. Other guys, they do appreciate, they do encourage, the sort of spit in your face, in your ear kind of thing. I guess talk to me about, how important coaching is in basketball, and I guess, your experience with, with coaches and what have you.
I would say that as far as coaching goes, it's definitely one of the most important things as far as like a player's development, because like the main thing is a coach can't give you confidence, but he can take it away. So like if you worked on your game constantly to the point where you shoot a shot, you what's going in. So then you get into like the practice part of the coach or whatnot. You shoot that same exact shot, but you missed it. And he tells you not to shoot that shot. He's like, whatever. And then you get in a game and you shoot that same shot and he subs you out because you shot that same shot that they told you not to shoot. So then he puts you back in the game. Then you get that same shot open. You're not gonna shoot that shot because you want to get taken out. You want to stay in the game. So in other words, you just do what he says because you don't want to be taken out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the thing is, if a coach, if he knows you working on that shot constantly, and he sees you shoot that shot all the time, and he sees you make that shot all the time, and he lets you shoot it, he's like, good shot, you make the next one. That does something different to a player's mind. Like, this coach actually believes in me. You know what I'm saying?
It's huge.
So it's like, as far and now you also asked me like what kind of coach do I prefer. Number one, I don't mind being yelled at because I play for my dad, so I kind of know what it's like to be yelled at.
Yeah.
But like I would say, I don't mind being yelled at as long as it doesn't get personal.
Right.
Like you can yell at me in a way where he's like, Skill, you're playing like absolute garbage right now. When you play well, we can win. If you don't play well, we don't win. Now, I probably add a little bit more pressure on me, but I know what to expect now.
Right.
Now, but But if you're talking about stuff like how I'm not certain stuff at home, how my siblings are doing this, that, and the next, how I'm not going to class or whatnot, and how I'm not doing this, that, and the next, I'm just like, dude, this has nothing to do with basketball at this point.
Right.
I'm like, you know what? I ain't got time for your nonsense right now.
That's crazy.
So it's just like the thing is, I would say, I'm not gonna say who my best coach was, because like I've had a bunch of different coaches, but so the things they all brought something different, I would say. Now the thing is, also my dad knows me best. My dad knows how to coach me. So my dad could literally cuss me out and I would go and drop 30. Like I think I got like when dad, I got start off bad. My dad would cuss me out at halftime. You're playing like absolute garbage. You were letting these dudes do this. You were letting these dudes do this. Like it was a good team too, by the way. It was really good team. Let's chill. You are better than this. If you don't pick it up, we won't win. Do you understand that? I'm just like, I got it. I just go ham for my dad. I would just go ham.
Does dad two questions on that? Does dad still coach you? And number two, can you beat dad one-on-one now?
I would fry my dad now. I would fry my dad now. The thing is though, like, it's funny story about playing against my dad one time.
Yeah.
I was in 7th grade. I played against my dad one time. He whooped my ass, beat the shit out. And this is my dad was still in shape too. My dad was like, I'm talking my dad was working out every day doing all that and next. My dad killed me when I was in 7th grade. I was like, I think I wanted to play against just cause I wanted to play against my dad.
Yeah, you want to prove yourself.
But I didn't have a chance. I didn't have a chance. I had no chance.
So you just.
But the thing is,
oh no, you good. No, you keep going.
Okay. But the thing is though, like, I never really had to really worry about certain things with my dad because I already understood. Like when my dad told something, I understood it. Like I was partially able to get past of him just being my dad, and he was my coach as well. The thing is, it was hard for my brothers to get past him just being the dad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like for me, I would say it was a little easier for me because I was more willing to listen. I was able to put the other stuff aside. I was willing to do that, and it was just things. I was with my dad all the time too, because like when my dad when my dad would take us to go work out, and he would just go running on the track and this and that. I'm talking about instead of me playing with my siblings, doing whatever they were doing, I would go on the track with him and run with him.
You've always been a student of the game.
Yeah. So I never beat him, but I would try. I was like, almost there. Okay, I didn't beat him yet. Okay. There was one time I got really close, but he just turned the chest. I was like, God damn it!
So it sounds like dad is still very passionate about basketball, and even though you might not, it seems like now you don't really feel like you need to play him to beat him. You know you can beat him, and you're comfortable with just knowing that.
I'm the best right now, so I'm the butt right now. So yeah, the thing is, when we were younger, my dad didn't really have to really tell me a lot. I understood a lot more than what people some of my siblings didn't understand since they couldn't get past the he's our dad part.
Right.
Me,
I can understand that though.
Don't get me wrong, though. It is hard playing for your dad because you don't know what you're getting yelled at for. You don't know if you're getting yelled at because you didn't do the dishes or because you actually or because you actually messed up a defensive assignment. You don't know what it is sometimes. So don't get me wrong. That part did play a part in it. I'm not gonna hold you. That definitely played a part in just like what are you yelling at me for? Like it messes, but it low-key messed with you a lot sometimes. All right, it did. But the thing is though, nothing will ever get harder than playing for your dad. If you can play for your dad, you can play with just like anybody, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You also need the right coach too. See what I'm saying?
You need the right.
No. The thing is, for me, obviously no one's ever gonna replace my dad. That's just you can't replace my dad. But it's just like I need a coach who actually cares about me, just not only as a basketball player, but as a person as well. You know what I'm saying?
It's
And
important.
the thing is, I feel like, no, go ahead.
No. I was just saying it's important. I was agreeing with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I feel like I feel like I didn't always have that. Now, I'm not saying Figs didn't care about me. He definitely did. Now, Coach Payne definitely cared about his players. Like Coach Payne would invite players to his house and for dinner, and for guys away from home, like me, I was away from Boston. This and next. So Coach Payne would invite guys to his house, have dinner at his house, this and next, watch TV, play games, yada, whatever. And then Coach Payne, you were at least able to talk to Coach Payne about anything that's going on in your life. And the thing with Coach Payne is that things never became personal. It was never personal with Coach Payne. And now the thing is, like, if you could help him win, yes, that's great. But he also cared about you at like off the court as well, to the point where you could actually have conversations with him. You know what I'm saying?
And that's big.
Yeah. Now at Hofstra, I didn't get that from my head coach at all. I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Because like my head coach. Now, don't get me wrong. When you play for a coach for 4 years, so you're just so ingrained into that system, and you do certain things a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you transfer, you have to pretty much restructure everything. So like, I ain't gonna lie, me going to Hofstra was probably one of the biggest. Was a hard adjustment going from the Big Ten to the CAA. It was an adjustment for like as far as like the ego aspect goes.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I'm coming from the Big Ten, like I seen pros every day, like y'all ain't this, that, and that. Like, I didn't say all that. I knew the guys were good. I knew that, but just like I figured that I had something up here that they just didn't have.
Right.
Which kind of was true in a sense. So like I'm not gonna say I wasn't rebellious. I definitely was very rebellious to my head coach.
Mm-hmm.
I was very rebellious because like that's just how I was at Purdue sometimes. I was a little rebellious because. I was just so used to guys. I was very easily defensive because like at Purdue, let's be honest, they were dickheads. A lot of guys were dickheads.
Yeah, on the team.
A lot. I'm not saying who, but a good amount of guys were dickheads. So I had to deal with a lot of shit at Purdue. So
yeah,
I was always on edge.
Now we talking about dickheads in the way where it's kind of like we joking. We joke kind of thing, or is it like, nah, like you can tell this is personal. Like it might be this coming off as kind of like a joke, but it's really not. Like
I would say a little bit of. I would say it's a little bit of both.
Because I play sports in college too, so I know when it's like when it's all love versus like. You're being sarcastic. Like you don't really fuck with me like that. Like basically, it's like at the end of the day, you don't got my back kind of thing.
More or less.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what it felt like. And so, like at Hofstra, I was just always on edge because like I didn't know who I could trust. That's just who I was. So this is actually like really messed up too. I actually told the coach at Hofstra how to coach me. He thought it as like I was taking a stand against the team. I'm just like, dude, I'm not taking what? I'm telling you how to how to best get the best out of me. I'm literally trying to help you help us win. But he just wouldn't hear it. So you know what? I made to the point where I was like, I don't care about this. I don't care what he has to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, granted, it was good that I had my dad because like. I don't know, I went through some rough patches at Hofstra. Went through a lot of rough patches. And the thing is, my dad and my girlfriend at the time, Kayla, told me, or my girlfriend now, my fault, not the time. She's still my girlfriend currently.
Mm-hmm.
She told me that, they both told me the same thing, that you shouldn't have to let someone, you can't give someone that much control over your emotions. And that you can't allow someone, like at the end of the day, you won't have to see this person ever again. Once you do what you got, if you do what you got to do, you ain't got to see this person again. Like you like who knows if you'll see this person after this year. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
So
advice.
you just gotta get through this. Like they also told me that you're gonna have to deal with people that you don't like in the workplace in the industry as well. As far as basketball, and as far as my other business as well. So you're gonna deal with people that you don't like all the you're gonna have to deal with people that you may not always like, but you have to be able to work with them. And I'm pretty sure you have to deal with that same thing too.
Oh, hell yeah, especially in business management. Now, it's crazy, Jacquil, man. I'm having so much fun talking to you right now. And it's crazy as much, like, I don't want to occupy too much of your time. It's crazy as much as like
My day is pretty much open right now.
I
I'm
bet,
good.
because I was like, I want to get it all. Because I'm like, yo, we haven't even talked about, the NCAA tournament. We haven't talked about Taylor Productions. We haven't talked about you playing ball
Nah, we haven't.
overseas. Let me get into those three, starting with, to climax this conversation. So, Purdue, what made you decide to actually wait? No. Let me do the tournament first, and then we'll talk. Actually, no, we'll do the transfer, then we'll do the tournament. So, what made you decide to transfer from Purdue to Hofstra?
I feel like I decided to transfer because I need to change of scenery.
You need to change the scenery.
Because like I feel like I wasn't getting opportunity that I feel like I deserved at Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the best thing for me to do was transfer. That's just me. And because like most people don't understand this, like the summer before my senior year, people don't understand how hard I worked that summer my senior year. Like I was home for about a week. I went right back to school. I did summer school too. I had a very strict routine of how I was doing stuff in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I would wake up, work out. I would get my lift in. I would do my cardio and I would go to the locker room, do my homework. I go shoot. I come back, do some more homework. I go right back and shoot again. That was like for the whole month of May. I did that for the whole month of May, and it was just like. Then when I got hurt, I didn't play. It was just like I was devastated to the point I'm not doing this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm not staying here if I'm not gonna get the opportunity I feel like I deserve. So I'm not saying no one I don't know what everyone else did. I'm just telling you what I did. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I know how much and what I put in that whole summer. Like I truly believe that I was probably the best I've ever been in. Without question. I was by far the best I've ever been in. And then when I didn't play that year, I was just like, well, this is kind of fucked up.
Yeah, on that point, Jacquil, we're in a time now, and we're seeing it especially in the NBA, where players are taking control over their careers. And I think that's great because you've experienced this and you've talked to me about this today, where it's, unfortunately, sometimes the coaches, management, they don't see the work. They don't see the product. They see what they want to see. And it's come with some blowback. You got owners, you got coaches fighting back. They feel like players are, being selfish and what have you. My stance is I'm with the players, right? Because if the system's not perfect, right? There are great coaches out there. There are some managers that get it, but there are plenty that don't. And I'm not going to blame someone for taking their own life into their own hands, because when you get hurt, who's going to be there for you? If you're not, getting the play time you deserve, you're not getting treated the way you got to deserve. At the end of the day, who's calling your line? At 7 p.m. when you're in your dorm room by yourself and you're trying to figure out what the hell is going on, that's when you know. So, it's one of those things where for you, what has that, like it's crazy. I was talking, I had a question and then I started talking and I forgot my question was, but, I guess like, man, where was I going to go with this? But oh man, it's like I had it and I don't have it. But I guess, in your experience, it sounds like, you've really had to be, your biggest advocate. You've really had to take your career into your own hands, because you've experienced what that's like when coaches don't see the work, when they don't see the time, effort put in. So you got to make a move for yourself. But what you're also telling me is a lot of people see it from a selfish point of view, when on the reality is they don't see the biases that these coaches and management are doing, and they're exploiting players for their own personal gain. And that's not fair to y'all.
Of course.
And like, you know, I'm happy that now, like I was just watching this episode of LeBron show last night, but I guess there's a rule that the NCAA passed now as far as athletes. Now this talks about, you know, y'all signing. I know. It's a little too late, right? You're not there no more. But, you know.
That's how about this. Yeah.
But, yeah, you know, I guess for you, like, you know, to kind of – I feel like I do want to – maybe if I ask this question, it'll kind of make you remember what I was going to say. But I guess how important is it for players to be able to advocate for themselves and also to be able to have a support system that can guide you and give you direction? Oh, okay, this isn't where I was going, but I think this is where I'm kind of wanting to get to, and I'll make this quick, right? So, you know, LeBron and Jay-Z, they're talking, right? Basically what they're saying is when you get to that certain point in your life where you're kind of part of that sort of like 1%, 2%, it's like you're basically driving that car by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But the key is you need to have a support system. You need to have that person in shotgun in back left and back right that can kind of let you know, hey, you know, whether you're steering a little too much off 10 and 2 or when you need to kind of put the gas on it. I guess how, you know, talk to me about the part that we don't see as fans on the outside as far as what players go through in that aspect as far as, you know, the difficulties of having to advocate for yourself and being able to make moves and decisions that most people just can't relate to. See, it's a loaded question. I'm sorry, but
it's fine.
I think you know where I'm going with this.
I think I know where you're going with this. I would say as far as support system, it's probably one of the most important things for sure. Mm-hmm. Because like you don't want to be steered in the because people can sometimes be steered in the wrong direction to where they are like at the top they can just go downhill because they have the wrong support system. Mm-hmm. Now there really isn't always a right support system, but you need to have the right people to which that will help guide you more upwards. Now, if you take 4 steps forward and maybe 1 step backwards and 4 steps forward again, I would say you're in a good place. Mm-hmm. But if you're just like taking 2 steps forward and 5 steps back every time, you might change the support system. Just being totally honest. Yeah. So it's just like the support system is always one of the most important things as far as like an aspect of anyone specifically. That's not just athletes only, but as far as like business, if you want to start a business too, you have the right people to which you know you can trust that will always have your best interest. If you don't have your best interest, that's what I said. Things will just go downhill, and you will end up miserable. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's just one thing. That's just something that I would say is probably the biggest thing. As what you were saying, as far as support system goes, like support is literally everything. Yeah. As far as the teams go too, I would say, how I say this, it's about the fact that they help you look at every angle. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like the pros, the cons, best case, worst case. Do they care? Do they not care? What they get out of it? What I can get out of it? You get to see almost. They help you see every angle of why you choose this place over this place. Now, if you have options, then you can kind of chill out a little bit, but you don't wait too long. But you want to also hear every business aspect. You want to hear this angle. You want to hear that angle. What's good about this angle? What's good about this angle? What's bad? What's bad? This, that, and next. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, and Jacquil, you played Division I basketball at a Big Ten school. I'm sure everybody's looking at you all the time in college and whatnot. You're basically part of like the All-Stars. And so, you know, with that comes obviously the side of it where there are people who are out there looking to exploit your talent, exploit you, you know, whether it's money, you know, et cetera. So it's one of those things where it can be difficult to kind of navigate that. Like, you know, for example, like we grew up in the projects, and there's just as many kids that we knew growing up with who very talented athletes, very talented basketball players who, you know, one bad decision, you know, took them in a completely different direction than where you and some of the few others that we know from Cambridge who are playing, you know, professional overseas. So we've been able to see how thin that line really is, right?
Like, you know them, I know them. You know, some of them are dead, some of them are in jail, some of them are just not doing anything with their lives. But that line is so thin, and we were so young, too young to really to know what to do with all that. How do you now, after this question, I'm gonna get to like your crowning moments. But I think this is a really important question to ask now. But I guess how are you able to from then and even right now to stay focused on basketball? Because, especially in Cambridge, man, basketball is everything. But we saw how the drugs, the women, the partying, all that stuff pulled a lot of talented brothers away from where you are right now. And the same goes even at the next level in college. How are you able to stay focused on basketball? What's allowed you to maintain that type of that type of discipline?
I would say it's the family, because they help you. Your family normally helps keep you on the right track to never forgetting the goal at hand, and what you want from yourself, and what's the best way of going about your business and how to take care of your business as well. So I would say my family and the people that are my inner circle have been the biggest asset as far as that goes. So the thing about that is, as what you're talking about, the fame, women, this, that, and next, that can really consume a lot of people. It really can, believe it or not. What's crazy is that, okay, I probably shouldn't. I'm not this is something we can tell off the podcast. I can tell you off the podcast.
Okay.
But it's as far as the fame goes, don't get me wrong, there are some good perks. But like, I think there's times people forget that we're still human. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we go through the same things that you guys go through. We just have to deal with it. We just have to do it in a different aspect because we're always being watched. And like, we have to be super careful. Think like this. Say me and a friend go to a party, right? Obviously, I'm the biggest person in there, and I'm decently well known. We'll go with that. Well, I'm decently well known, and no one has no idea who this person is. So say this person gets into a fight, and I go to help that person out because it's my friend, obviously. I'll say now, start it or not, we'll see. So the only headline that will be is my name instead of their name, because they don't care about who that person is. You see what I'm saying?
It's true.
So it's just like, no matter what I do, even if I didn't do anything, they'll say I was there
involved, and
then people gonna ask me questions. Okay, what happened? This, that, and the next. Then it's gonna be posted a headline about this, that, and the next. So it's like athletes, like athletes specifically, and like rappers, actors, and this, that, and the next. Like, we have to be super careful about who our inner circle is, about who is in our inner circle, because we don't know what's gonna happen half the time.
It's even harder for athletes because I think with rappers, like it's engraved in hip hop culture to have some dirt on your name. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying you can't get in trouble, right? We seen dudes get in trouble. But I think at least with like rappers, like if a rapper if you hear about a rapper getting into a fight or, at a show or whatnot, you're kind of like, yo, what I mean? He's gangster, like, he's a thug, like that's what he does. If it's an athlete, like athletes now, right, wrong, or otherwise, are looked up to as role models. So like you said, there's a lot of pressure on y'all. There's always someone watching y'all. And that can be really tough being, especially being a young man, young adult, young woman, or whatever, because you need to be able to have a childhood, have an adulthood where you can learn, grow, make mistakes, and keep going forward. But it's like you said, and I don't want this to come off as I was saying, like, there's nothing good about being famous. Of course, there's plenty of perks. But I don't think some people understand the human element, like you were talking about. Like Naomi Osaka just, dropping out of the Open or whatever, to have to deal with her mental health. We're seeing this now, and I'm sure you've seen it now, where the NBA and the NFL and things of that nature, we're really starting to engage the conversation around mental health because there's so much that goes into it. Like I heard Carmelo Anthony say on the show the other day, he was like, yo, he thinks all NBA players are depressed because it's so routine. It's so system oriented. Boom, boom, boom. Do this every day. And it's just like, that can be so emotionally exhausting. Because when you want to let loose and breathe and maybe, go out, with a friend or whatever, you have a good time, one little thing doesn't even have to be it can be completely out of your control, can set you up for failure. And that, I think that's the part of it that's not fair, especially when you're younger, because there's no, like you said, there's no playbook for how to navigate something like that. And you're human. You were going to make mistakes. The only difference is when I make a mistake, no one hears about it but my inner circle. You make a mistake, a lot more people gonna know about that. Purdue, Hofstra,
my agent.
Playing, your agent. Yeah, I wanted to save the agent talk when I get to this part, but now let me get to the third act, which is gonna be your crowning achievements from the tournament to you playing ball overseas to your business.